Hello, my name is Zynah Kharoliwalla, and who am I interviewing today?
My name is Kayomarsh Mehta.
Awesome. Alright, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and you can just reply to me. Alright, so tell me about your childhood, where you grew up.
I was born in Navsari and then moved to Bombay. Did my, around when I was in the 4th grade, we moved with my mother to Ahmedabad and finished my schooling in Ahmedabad. And finally, after that, I went to Baroda for my engineering college and did my engineering degree there.
Nice. So when you lived in Navsari, did you live in a bog?
No,
No?
in Navsari, we had like streets that were called mollas, and there was a house there. But I only lived in Navsari for a year.
In Navsari. Alright, and then when you moved to Mumbai, did you live in a bog?
No, we lived in a building that was all Parsis, but the rest of the buildings in the street were all cosmopolitan, different religions.
So it was that one building that had lots of Zoroastrians,
Right.
but not like a bog.
No, not about.
Interesting. And did you have any friends in the building?
Yes.
Nice.
In fact, my very good friend was my neighbor, and we finally got married. So that was my wife too,
That's so nice.
from childhood.
Nice. Did you have any siblings?
Yes, I have a brother, younger brother,
Nice.
Osi.
Is he still here?
Yeah, he's here,
Oh.
Osi Mehta.
Yeah, I think I've heard of him. All right. What kind of school or college did you attend?
I went to St. Xavier's School in Ahmedabad.
Oh, that's where my parents went. One of my.
So there was a Catholic school, and those were the only English teaching schools, because the other schools had local languages, like in Gujarati or something.
Nice. Did you grow up learning English?
Yes,
So you learn English, you learn Gujarati.
yes.
Nice.
We learned Gujarati, we learned English, and in the high school we had choice of taking French or Persian as a secondary language.
Oh, nice.
And then in India, we also had to learn the national language, which was Hindi.
All right. So you said you moved from Navsari to Mumbai. Why did you move?
Because my dad was working in Mumbai.
Oh, you got a new job.
Yeah.
And then, is that why you moved to Ahmedabad as well?
No, my father passed away when I was young. And then my grandparents and my uncle were in Ahmedabad. So they asked us to move. So my mother, myself, and my brother, we moved to stay with them.
Nice. So that's like your first initial move.
Right.
Was it difficult?
It was I don't have too much memory, but yes, we had friends and all that.
Yeah.
So when we moved, we had to make new friends.
Nice. Were you happy in Ahmedabad?
Yes, we were very happy. We had, my uncle had 4 sons,
Oh.
so we had 6 boys all living together
Oh, that's
as we
fun.
grew up.
So all of your cousins and you?
Yes,
Are you still in touch with them?
yes.
Nice. And then when did you move to the US?
In 1969,
When you were how many years old?
I was 21 years old.
Did you move for college?
Yes, I moved to do my studies, my master's.
Which college did you attend?
In Chicago, there's an institute, IIT,
Ooh,
Illinois Institute of Technology.
nice. Did you miss your family at first when you moved?
Yes, it was a very difficult move
Yeah.
initially.
Did you know anybody here when you moved?
No, I did not know anybody, and it was a very peculiar circumstance. I was originally going to go to San Diego, so I had a host family lined up.
Oh.
And then the very last day, as I was traveling from Ahmedabad to go to Mumbai to come here, my roommate in Baroda came to the train station and told me that I just got an I-20, which is like an official recognition that you've been admitted to the graduate program. So the rest of the night, I had to decide on the train whether I want to continue going to San Diego or go to Chicago. And of course, IIT had a very big reputation back then, and I still do, I think. So I decided to go to IIT. But there was a lot of people that were my relatives, and everybody didn't have a good impression of Chicago because it was considered a gangster's town. And they're trying to talk me out of it. But ultimately, I just said that no, I was longing for that admission, and finally I got it. So I'm going to go there.
Nice. Did you have a culture shock coming here?
Not a culture shock, but there was some interesting stories because what I did was I had a flight, the last minute flight that I had to stop on the way in Venice. No, in Athens. So spent a day there, then went to Paris, spent another day there, and then went to London, another day there. So by the time I landed in New York, all my cash that I had with me was spent already.
Oh no.
And all I had was a check, a certified check that was supposed to be the tuition for the college.
Oh. So then did you have
because I had changed my mind at the last minute, I figured I'll just go to the college and then try and meet the student advisor and tell them that I'm here.
Nice.
Well, it didn't work out very well because when I landed at O'Hare, it was past midnight. And I thought I could just stay here at the airport till the morning and then somehow get to the school, not realizing that the school was far away.
Oh.
And how would I even get there? So I was just trying to sleep or sit on a bench there. A cop came by and said that he noticed that I was sitting there. So he asked if I was waiting for anybody. And I said no. And I figured I'd lose him. But he came back again after a while. He says, "You're still here." And I said, "Yeah, I just like to be here till the morning." And he said, "No, you can't be here sitting around at the airport in the morning. You have to go to the hotel or somewhere. Do you know anybody?" And I said, "No, I don't know anybody. But I have an admission to this university." And he looked at it and he says, "That's far away. Do they know you are coming?" I said, "No, I don't think so." So he said, "You just ended up here without telling anyone?" Or I said, "Yeah, I just figured I'll talk to them and let them know that I have this admission and let me get in and give me some accommodation in the dorms."
Oh.
Well, he said, "You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't stay here. I'm going to call for a cab and let the cab take you to a nearby hotel." Yeah, I said, "Well, wait. I don't have any money to pay the cab or the hotel. All I have is this check, and that's a university check until it gets cashed. Nobody can get anything out of it." So he called some people and he made some calls, and finally he figured out that we'll make all the arrangements so that the university will ultimately pay all this, pay the cab as well as pay the hotel.
Oh, wow.
And coming from India, that was a big shock because every dollar was so many rupees, even though not as much as it's today, but at that time also. So I said, fine, if I have no choice, I will have to do that. So I got a limousine ride the first night,
Oh my gosh.
all the way from O'Hare to almost near the Science Museum on the Lakeshore Drive,
Yeah.
because that was the closest to where IIT was.
Oh.
And so I had to again explain they had taken care of explaining to the cab driver and the hotel manager. So I had no problem there. So I was sitting in the lobby after I registered, and the guy said, "Sir, why don't you go to your room?" I said, "What is the checkout time?" He said 10 o'clock or something in the morning. So I said, "If I go to my room, I'll fall asleep. Can I just sit here in the lobby? Because as soon as morning comes, I want to walk to the college." He said, "No, you cannot walk to the college. It's a very bad neighborhood.
Oh.
The college is about at least 3-4 miles away, and you won't be able to walk there safely." I said, "Look, I don't have any money for the cab or anything, so I have to do that. Can you just keep my bag here with you? I'll walk over there, get everything arranged, come back, and then bring my bag," because I had a heavy suitcase that I was carrying.
Yeah.
So, and of course, in those days, we had arrived with a 3-piece suit. So I was dressed in a suit. And as soon as the morning came, about 7 o'clock or so, this was in September, about this time, I walked down Martin Luther King Drive, which is a nice walkway with gardens in the middle. But I walked through a neighborhood that I've now realized that was very bad, and I was a good target for anybody, because you're walking in a 3-piece suit early in the morning with nobody around.
Yeah.
Finally, I reached the IIT campus. Didn't realize that all the doors in this newer environment are all locked.
Oh.
So I knocked on some doors. I went from one dorm to another dorm. Nobody opened the door. Finally, I saw a bunch of girls that had come from playing tennis, and they were walking towards their dormitory. So I didn't want to lose them, so I ran after them. As soon as I ran after them, they thought I was some weirdo or somebody.
Yeah, they probably would have
So
said.
they went into their dorm and locked the door, but they called the campus police,
Oh.
which was a good thing, because finally I was able to talk to somebody.
That's
Campus
true.
police said, "What's the issue? Why were you chasing the girls?" So I had to tell him the whole story. That, look, I'm trying to get to the student advisor, and somehow I need to call them and let them know that I'm here. I'm a foreign student. I just arrived on the plane last night, and my situation is that I need to have somebody give me accommodation. So then he called the foreign student advisor. The foreign student advisor was very mad, upset, because it was a Sunday morning. And he said, "Well, you can't just come like this at the last minute. Don't you know that there are rules?" So then I had to explain to him again the whole story, that I didn't get the admission letter till the last minute, and therefore I had no time to inform you. So he said, "Okay, I'll put you up in married student apartments. However, as they start coming, there was a week that people would come to the college for registration and all that. You would have to move from one room to another." I said, "Fine, whatever, as long as I get something to stay."
You can't be in here, please. Sorry. I'm just locking
Yeah.
the door really quick. Okay. Sorry, do you want to continue?
Yeah. You want to start the recording again?
It's on.
So anyhow, I got into the married student apartment, and then what I wanted to do was walk back again to get my bag, and they said that no, don't walk back. It's very dangerous. You're not supposed to go. There's a boundary, 35th Street, and anything south of 35th Street, you have somebody.
Did you lock the door?
Yes.
Yeah,
We're having a recording here.
Okay. मतलब ये नीचे भी कोई बच्चा उड़ा रहा था, they might have locked.
So anyhow, I walked back all the way because I had no choice. I had no money, and then carried my bag back again for those. So 3 miles one way, 3 miles back again. The third time, and finally got settled. 2 days later, the family that was supposed to be in my apartment came. So then again, I had to move to another apartment. And finally, I was told that if there is no room, I may have to find an apartment outside. And I said, I don't even know how to go about finding an apartment. They said, well, we'll try and help you. In the meantime, luckily, I was able to meet some of the Indian students there. And the graduate students in their final year get single rooms.
Yeah.
But if they want to, they can have somebody to share their room. And I was finally able to get one of those for the first semester.
Nice.
And stay with them.
That's quite a story. All right.
Well, there's a little more interesting story to it.
Sure.
But you said, I will let you stay with me only on one condition, that every Friday night you will have to go and sleep in the common area downstairs.
What?
Why? Because my girlfriend comes and stays with me.
Oh my god.
So I had no choice, I agreed to that. So that was my beginning in US.
That's funny. Okay. So, your friends in college, were any of them Zoroastrian?
No.
So then, how were you able to connect with the other Zoroastrians?
After a long time, I heard that there were other students who had come from India, Zoroastrian students, but who were not at the same college.
Oh.
So I connected with them and found out that the Zoroastrian population at that time was very small, but they were going to have a picnic.
That's nice.
And so we connected together, and we were able to attend the picnic at Starved Rock. That was the first time when I met all the Zoroastrians here.
Wow.
And then after that, of course, it was easy meeting people and getting invited to other people's houses and all that.
So how many people were at this picnic?
I want to say maybe 20 or so.
Oh, that's pretty small. So then you helped to build the ZAC.
Yes.
So what made you want to do that?
Well, after that the group grew a little bit. We used to meet for Nowruz at restaurants, like have a New Year party in one of the restaurants and so forth. Then visit everybody that had a home at that time. They would have a party in their basement or something like that. So the frequency of meetings grew a little bit, maybe once a month, once every other month. And finally we felt that there was a need to do something. As the years went by, I would say maybe 69 to maybe 75 or so, then we had formed the association,
Yeah.
but we didn't have a place. So we had to find a place to meet. What we did was we knew where everybody lived at that time. So we took a map of Chicago and spotted everybody on the map. And we decided that we should meet at a place which is no more than an hour for everybody.
It's about like right in the middle.
Right. So that's how we ended up with this, like a Hinsdale, Burridge area location. And then we found a church in Hinsdale that we approached several churches to see if we could meet there, and nobody was interested. But Hinsdale Unitarian Church said that they might be interested as long as we meet in the afternoon, because they have their services on Sunday morning. So Sunday afternoon we could meet. So we right away jumped on it, and we were paying for each time that we met.
Oh.
However, it was a small church and a small parking lot. So we would all line up at around 11:30 outside on the street, waiting for the traffic from the church, all the cars to go. And then about 12:15 or so, we'd be able to get in and park,
Yeah.
and then have our meetings.
Nice.
But that was the beginning.
Yeah.
And then since we were in Hinsdale, we looked at a lot of properties. We had heard that some other associations had bought a home, but they were not happy. Later on, they had some issues with it. So we decided that we should really try and build something on our own. And therefore, then we got together, looked at some properties, and finally decided on this property.
So did you buy this property or did you build it?
We bought the land,
Oh, the land.
yeah, because we wanted to build
Built.
our own, and we had drawn up all kind of different plans, what to do, and of course the prime thing was to have a big hall and a prayer room, and also a priest residence at that time.
Yeah.
So what today is the custody rooms was supposed to be like maybe a priest residence, maybe a children's room, and so there was a lot of discussions on that.
So about this time when the ZAC was being built, how many Zoroastrians were there?
I would say the population was probably around 50, 60 people.
Oh. And there was like a head, right? Like the people in charge?
We always, in 1975, when we formed the association, we had a board. The ZAC board,
Yeah.
that consisted of six or eight people.
Were you on that board?
Yes,
You were?
right from the beginning. Yeah.
Interesting. So how did you manage to keep your traditions in the U.S. like when you first
So when we first came, it was very hard because when we got married and started having children, we realized that there is no provision for them to learn about our culture, about our religion. So we invited Dasturji Minoche Romji, whose portrait is in the library here, behind the board.
Oh, I see.
So we invited him here several times for him to come and stay with us for 2-3 months in the summertime. And then we would have classes for interested people to join. And that's how we all started learning about our religion.
So that was like the beginning of the religion classes?
Yeah. And then we recorded his classes, some 80-some cassettes in those days.
Yeah.
And from that, I developed the religion class material, a curriculum, and so forth.
Interesting. Were you able to connect with your family back in India?
Oh, yes. But in those days, we didn't have no cell phones or no WhatsApp or no computers, in fact. even though they were there, we couldn't afford it. So it was telephone calls or letters. I used to write a lot of letters.
Were you able to visit them?
Not for a couple of years, but after that I was able to visit.
Nice.
And then after 3 years of coming, I finally went home, met my wife Nargish, who was my neighbor, and we had grown up together.
Mm-hmm.
And we got married
Nice.
and came back here and started our family then
Nice. Interesting. Did you get married here or in India?
in India.
India. So how do you feel now about what you've built?
It's a very good feeling that had we not done something, I don't know what would be the case today. So
Yeah.
there's a sense of accomplishment.
I think you were definitely one of the more important people who really stepped up and said, we should build this, it would be good for...
Yeah, not only that we built the building, but we started the religion classes and started thinking about getting a priest here.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, we sponsored many priests,
Yeah.
and luckily now we have a bunch of priests that are available whenever we want.
Yeah.
So all those things. And we also formed, right in this room, we formed the Fazana.
Zynah.
Zynah.
Interesting.
We had a meeting of all the associations here for a whole week to form, to decide on what the constitution should be, what should Fazana be doing, etc.
Interesting.
So those were the main things.
Nice. Well, thank you for talking with me.
Sure. Pleasure.
I learned a lot from you. So, thank you. Goodbye.
Take care.